Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a topic that affects many of us, loneliness. It's a universal human experience, yet it can feel so isolating. We often think we're the only ones struggling with it, but the truth is, loneliness doesn't discriminate. In this video, we'll be exploring the 4 stages of loneliness and how it manifests in our lives. By understanding these stages, we can better recognize the signs in ourselves and others, and hopefully find ways to combat this complex emotion. Loneliness is not a sign of weakness, it's a call for connection. So let's break down the stigma surrounding loneliness and start a conversation about it. This first stage is often subtle. It sneaks up on you quietly, almost imperceptibly. You might not even realize it's happening at first. You might feel a little off, a bit out of sync with your usual self. It's like a faint background noise that you can't quite pinpoint, but it's there, lingering. Maybe you're not as excited about things you used to enjoy. The hobbies and activities that once brought you joy now seem dull and uninteresting. You might find yourself going through the motions without the same enthusiasm. You might find yourself scrolling through social media more, feeling envious of others' seemingly perfect lives. It's easy to get lost in the highlight reels of others, comparing your behind the scenes to their best moments. Or perhaps you're withdrawing a little, declining invitations without really knowing why. You might find excuses to stay home, feeling a sense of relief when plans get cancelled. This stage is all about a gradual disconnection from the world around you, a sense of not quite belonging. It's like being surrounded by people but still feeling alone, a quiet isolation that starts to take root. It's important to pay attention to these subtle shifts, these whispers of loneliness, because if we address them early on, we can prevent them from escalating. Acknowledging these feelings is the first step towards reconnecting. Think about the last time you felt truly connected to someone. What was that like? Was it a deep conversation, a shared laugh, or a comforting hug? What did you talk about? Was it something meaningful, something that made you feel understood and valued? How did it make you feel? Did you feel a sense of belonging, of being seen and heard? Now think about your recent interactions. Have they felt different? Have you noticed a change in how you connect with others? Have you been holding back, sharing less, or feeling less engaged? It's easy to retreat into yourself when you feel disconnected, but it's important to recognize these patterns. These are all signs of that initial disconnection creeping in. It's a gradual process, but it can have a significant impact on your well-being if left unchecked. It's not about blaming yourself. It's about recognizing the signs and taking small steps to reconnect. Reach out to a friend, engage in an activity you love, or simply take a moment to reflect on your feelings. Small actions can make a big difference in bridging the gap and finding your way back to connection. As that initial disconnection deepens, it can lead to social isolation. This is a state where one feels completely cut off from the world around them, often leading to a sense of loneliness and despair. The feeling of being isolated can be overwhelming, making it difficult to reach out for help or even recognize that help is needed. This is where you actively start withdrawing from social situations and interactions. You might find yourself avoiding eye contact, turning away from gatherings, or standing alone at events where you once felt comfortable. The fear of judgment or rejection can become so intense that it feels safer to stay away from others altogether. You might find yourself making excuses to avoid plans, preferring your own company to that of others. This can become a habitual pattern where the thought of socializing feels more like a burden than a joy. You might tell yourself that you're just too busy or too tired, but deep down, it's the fear of connection that keeps you isolated. This isn't always a bad thing, of course. We all need our alone time. Solitude can be a wonderful opportunity for self-reflection, creativity, and relaxation. It allows us to recharge and reconnect with ourselves. However, when solitude turns into isolation, it can have detrimental effects on our mental and emotional well-being. But when it becomes a pattern, when you consistently choose isolation over connection, that's when it can become problematic. The more you isolate yourself, the harder it becomes to break free from the cycle. You might start to feel trapped in your own world, unable to reach out or let others in. You might start to feel like you don't fit in anywhere, that no one really understands you. This sense of not belonging can be incredibly painful, leading to feelings of worthlessness and despair. It's important to recognize these feelings and understand that they are a natural response to prolonged isolation. This feeling of being misunderstood can be incredibly isolating. It can make you feel like you're the only one going through this, even though many others are experiencing the same thing. Writing in a journal or talking to a trusted friend can help you process these emotions and feel less alone. It's important to remember that you are not alone in feeling this way. Many people experience social isolation at some point in their lives. Seeking professional help, joining support groups, or reading self-help books can provide valuable insights and strategies for overcoming isolation. Many people experience social isolation at some point in their lives. It's a common response to various life circumstances and changes. Understanding that this is a shared human experience can help reduce the stigma and encourage you to seek support. It's often triggered by life changes like moving to a new city, starting a new job, or ending a relationship. These transitions can be incredibly challenging, disrupting our social circles and leaving us feeling untethered. It's during these times that we are most vulnerable to feelings of isolation. These transitions can disrupt our social circles and leave us feeling untethered. The unfamiliarity of a new environment can make it difficult to form new connections, leading to a sense of isolation. It's important to be patient with yourself during these times and take small steps towards building new relationships. It's crucial to acknowledge these feelings and seek support during these times. Reaching out to friends, joining community groups, or reconnecting with family can provide a sense of belonging and help you navigate through the challenges of social isolation. Remember, it's okay to ask for help and take steps towards reconnecting with the world around you. Chapter 3: Chronic Loneliness. When social isolation persists, it can develop into chronic loneliness. This isn't just an occasional feeling of being alone, it's a persistent state that can affect every aspect of your life. Chronic loneliness can make you feel like you're trapped in a bubble, separated from the world around you. This is where the feeling of being alone becomes a constant presence in your life. It's not just about being physically alone, it's about feeling emotionally isolated, even when you're surrounded by people. You might find yourself in a room full of friends or family, yet still feel completely disconnected. It's no longer just about missing social interaction. It's a deeper sense of emptiness and disconnection that permeates your thoughts and actions. This pervasive loneliness can lead to a sense of despair, where you start to believe that no one understands you or cares about your well-being. You might start to feel hopeless, like things will never get better. This hopelessness can become overwhelming, making it difficult to find joy in activities you once enjoyed. It can feel like a heavy weight that you carry with you everywhere you go. This can lead to negative self-talk where you constantly criticize yourself and your perceived inability to connect with others. You might start to believe that there's something inherently wrong with you, which only deepens the cycle of loneliness and isolation. Chronic loneliness can have a serious impact on both our mental and physical health. It can lead to a range of health issues, from mental health conditions like depression and anxiety to physical ailments such as heart disease and a weakened immune system. The stress of feeling constantly alone can take a toll on your body, making you more susceptible to illness. It's been linked to depression, anxiety, heart disease, and even a weakened immune system. The longer you experience chronic loneliness, the more severe these health impacts can become. It's important to recognize these signs and take steps to address them before they worsen. It's vital at this stage to reach out for professional help. Seeking support from a therapist or counselor can be a crucial step in breaking the cycle of chronic loneliness. They can help you develop strategies to reconnect with others and rebuild your social network. Talking to a therapist or counselor can provide you with the tools and support you need to break the cycle of chronic loneliness. They can offer a safe space to explore your feelings and work through the challenges you're facing. With their guidance, you can start to build meaningful connections and find a sense of belonging once again. Chapter 4: Emotional Loneliness. This final stage is characterized by a profound sense of emptiness and a lack of emotional connection with others. Even when surrounded by people, you might feel completely alone, unable to bridge the gap between yourself and the world. This can lead to feelings of despair, worthlessness, and a sense that you are fundamentally flawed. It's important to remember that these feelings are not facts. They are symptoms of emotional loneliness. This stage often requires professional intervention. Therapy, support groups, and medication can all play a role in healing from emotional loneliness. It's a long journey, but with the right support and a commitment to self-compassion, it is possible to find your way back to connection. Remember, you are worthy of love and belonging. You are not alone in this. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Remember, you're not alone, and there are ways to overcome loneliness. Take baby steps, reach out to someone you trust, or seek professional help. There is no shame in asking for support. The most important thing is to remember that you are worthy of connection, and with time and effort, you can find your way back to a place of belonging.